Hey, you're welcome to today's Big Talks, the space where biblical principles and financial prosperity blend. Big stands for business, increase, and growth. If you have not shared the link, this is when you pause and do. So you bring other people along on this journey. As the LCF business community, our mission is to become financially prosperous, grounded in biblical principles. And how we do that? By equipping ourselves in the stewardship of wealth, exploring not just how to get it, but how to guard it, how to grow it, and give it. Where we are changing mindsets, building businesses, and creating financial freedom one conversation at a time. When wealth is used right, it is a tool for positive impact and transformation. I'm your host, Stephen Kafeero. The response to our previous discussions has been incredibly encouraging. It tells me that many people are ready to take control of their financial future. In episode 1, we discovered that most people never become wealthy, not because they lack ability, but because they never begin. And then in episode 2, we learned that God has already placed something valuable in our hands. And then last week in episode 3, we explored one of the greatest principles of wealth creation. Money follows value, not need. Those that haven't watched the past 3 episodes, follow our channel, My LCF Church, subscribe, see them, watch them, and follow the challenges that they are in. Today, I want us to tackle what I believe is the greatest barrier to financial freedom. It isn't inflation. It isn't family. It isn't the government. It isn't your employer. It isn't an answered prayer to God. It isn't even your bank account. The greatest barrier is something you carry with you every day. Your mindset. Your mindset. Today's Big Talks I will entitle Breaking the Poverty Mindset. And I'll leave you a quote. Your financial future begins in your mind. Your financial future begins in your mind. Allow me to define what is poverty mindset. Poverty mindset is not about how much money you have. It's about how you think. I've met wealthy people who constantly fear losing everything. I've also met people with very little money who think like future millionaires. The difference isn't their bank balance. The difference is their mindset. Your income may change overnight, but your mindset determines whether you keep it. I was engaging a person yesterday, and they were saying that England is becoming challenging. I need to move to another country. Then I said, unfortunately, even if you went to another country, you still be moving with your mindset. The mindset that has failed to enable you to succeed in England will be the same mindset you're taking with you to another place. So it's very important that you work on your mindset. Let me share a scripture because we base our teachings on biblical principles. Proverbs 23:7 says, as he thinks in his heart, so is he. Other translations say, as a man thinketh, he becometh. So notice that the scripture doesn't say we become what we earn. It says become what we think. Poverty is more than empty pockets. Many people think that poverty is simply the absence of money. I disagree. Poverty is believing that nothing can change. I say that again. Poverty is believing that nothing can change. It is believing I'll always struggle. Oh, people like me don't become successful. Or I don't know the right people. I didn't go to university. I'm too old. I am too young. It's a generational curse. Yeah? I have failed too many times. Those statements are not facts. They are beliefs. I call them limiting beliefs. And beliefs shape behavior. I give an example of a great personality in the Bible, Moses. Moses had excuses too. Read Exodus 4. When God called Moses, Moses immediately began listing reasons why he couldn't succeed. For example, I can't speak. They won't believe me. Send somebody else. Notice something remarkable. God never answered Moses' excuses. Instead, he asked one question: what is in your hand? God was saying, stop focusing on what you don't have. Use what you already have. At this juncture, let me share signs of a poverty mindset. First one, waiting to feel ready. That's a common one. It applies in all areas of our lives, whether to marry, whether to start a business, whether to change jobs. Many people never start because they're waiting for confidence. They're waiting for situations to be more clearer. They're waiting for the situations to give a go ahead. Confidence comes after action, not before. A step at a time, your confidence builds. Secondly, seeing problems instead of opportunities. We shared this last week in episode 3. Successful people ask, what problem can I solve? Then others ask, why is life so unfair? If you notice, one question creates wealth and the other creates frustration. Now, thirdly, spending to impress. We sometimes buy things to look successful instead of becoming successful. Appearance is expensive. Real wealth is often quiet. And like I shared in episode 1, 2, or 3, view them. One of the greatest failures we have is we like to compare. You compare what you watch on the social media or around you, and you want to be that immediately. But there's a process to get there. So find yourself, change your mindset. This is what we're here to learn. And then you will get what belongs to you. So spending to impress is a poverty mindset. Fourthly, fear of failure. That is very common. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is tuition. I call it tuition. Every successful entrepreneur or successful person has paid what I call school fees through mistakes. It's only when a baby falls down, when they're trying to learn how to walk, they get up, try again, fall, get up. The more they do it, the more their confidence builds, the more their body adjusts to what made them fall previously. So it's very, very important to learn through your mistakes. Mistakes are there to make you wiser, to make you stronger, to succeed. So failure is not the opposite of success, but failure is part of success. Fifth one, depending on one source of income. If one salary disappearing destroys your finances, your problem is not your salary. Your problem is dependence. God created rivers, not ponds. Money should flow through multiple channels. I always wondered why they call money currency. Currency is flow. Another word for currency is flow, flowing from one point to the other. So you have to be a conduit of this medium of exchange. There's another great example I tend to give is that the, the Dead Sea, which is in the Middle East. The Dead Sea is called the Dead Sea because more or less nothing lives, survives in that sea. Why? All the inputs, the river that flow, that feed the Dead Sea with water, none of it flows out. So ideally, everything the Dead Sea collects stays there. And you know what it is? It dies. So in a way, you can relate it in our finances. If we keep hoarding our wealth, finances, without giving it, without growing it, then it may not prosper or create any changes in our lives. Now, let me give you the wealth mindset. When you have this mindset, then you know you have it right. People with a wealth mindset say, I can learn, I can improve, I can start small, or we can do this, or I can serve people. That's confidence. I can solve problems. That's courage, creativity. I can create value. Remember, value, money follows value. They don't wait for permission. They create opportunities. They create opportunities. I'll share a scripture, Romans 12:2. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Notice, transformation begins inside. Transformation begins inside. One of the very first episodes of our big discussions, teachings was the end in mind. It was based on the book by Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Transformation begins inside, then it appears outside. It manifests itself on the outside. So, let me give you a personal challenge. I want to take a piece of paper today. Write down every negative belief you've ever spoken about money. Spend some time, give yourself some time. Separate yourself from what's around you and try and think of every negative belief you've ever spoken about money. Things like, even perhaps you have said, I can't afford it. I am unlucky. Business isn't for me. I'm not educated enough. Then ask yourself one question. Did God say that? If He didn't, stop believing it. This week's big challenge, every week we'll be giving you challenges after every episode, because we want these big talks to not simply inspire you, but to help you change your life. So this week's challenge is simple. Write down 3 limiting beliefs, 3 that have held you back financially. Just write them down. And then rewrite each one as a statement of faith and action. For example, I don't have enough money. Change it to, I will start with what I have and trust God as I grow. Same as like a farmer, that kind of faith. A farmer is given a seed and then he plants that seed, believing that it will grow, bear fruit and more seeds, and he will harvest a healthy crop. Then another one is, I don't know enough, becomes, I will commit to learning one new business skill, one new academic skill, one new employment skill. Every week, it's possible. Small changes in thinking eventually produce big changes in living. Small changes in thinking eventually produce big changes in living. As I close, my prayer is that today you have realized something important. Your greatest investment is not property. It's not cryptocurrency. It's not the stock market. It's not even your business. It's not even your job, your employment job. Your greatest investment is your mind. When your thinking changes, your decisions change. When your decisions change, your habits change. When your habits change, your financial future changes without a doubt. So, thank you for joining me for another big talk. If today's discussion has encouraged you, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, My LCF Church, so that together we can help more people discover God's principles for financial freedom. That is kingdom living. That is kingdom stewardship of God's resources. And next time, remember our big motto: get it, guard it, grow it, give it. May God bless you. Thank you.